Well, welcome back. I hope you've all enjoyed working on the Atwood one. I know that I've enjoyed thinking about it, and now I'm going to show you what I think we should do to the main floor of this 1,700 square foot townhome, just located outside of Chicago, Illinois. So as Matthew said, the problems are kind of obvious. We've got a kitchen that doesn't work very well. It's got an odd relationship to those utility spaces. There's no real entry closet. There's this kind of deep thing that doesn't work particularly well. But most importantly, I think that it segments this part of the main floor from this part, and really makes this centerpiece really, really dark. So starting off at the front, I think there's two things that we need to think about when we start looking at this plan. The first is, where do we put the kitchen? And the second is, where do we put all of that storage space, the laundry, the powder room, and the closet. We want to try and consolidate that together so that it kind of disappears into the walls, so to speak. And what I'm going to suggest is that we actually try and get the closet and everything over in a block that's about like that. I think that this back of the unit is a little wide to begin with, and that we could really we could reduce it down a bit more and have things work quite well from there. So we've got that. Also then starts to define a better entry space there, because it's just a little bit bigger. We can put a closet in like that. We can then get our bathroom in over there, have a door now in there, and another door in like that into our washer dryer, so that we can come basically, let me just get rid of this and draw that back in like so. So now we've got all of our doors into our service spaces off of the main living space, and we've reduced the width of that unit down to something that I think is a little bit more reasonable. I'm going to suggest at this point that we also now open this up and put another window in there, window-door combination, so that we get more light coming into the back of the unit through there, and a better connection to that outdoor living space. It's not a great living space, but it's something that the unit has. Now we need to think about the kitchen. The kitchen could go at the front, could go at the back where it was, or it could go in the middle. I'm going to suggest that we put it in the middle, because I think that allows for the two front and back living spaces to have the best connection to light, and it allows us to then think about that kitchen space as an open kitchen where it can share some of that. It also gives us an opportunity to define the two spaces a little bit more. So what I'm going to suggest is that we actually have a kitchen that starts with a block of millwork, where we can get that refrigerator in there and I'm going to color it in, although it's not really, wouldn't really conventionally be colored in according to graphic standards, but just to leave it like that. Then that lets us then have a counter that can come along over about like that there. That lets us get our table in there. The reason that I've done this and put the block with the pantry and the refrigerator there is it creates a little bit more separation for this, but it still allows a connection through to visually into the kitchen and over into the living space beyond. Then we can just finish that off with an island, not a particularly big island, but nevertheless a good one, with a couple of chairs there so that we can walk through and circulate pretty effectively. And then we've just got the living space at the back that we can finish. I'm going to suggest that we probably do some kind of a sectional there, and then something else right there. Here I'll show you the final version. We can see that this is that block of millwork. Again, think about blocks. Think about architecture not as just a series of walls, but as a block. See how by doing that with the two service spaces, they kind of disappear, and they allow us to then create spaces like this and like this and like that, so that it clarifies everything, gets the main principal spaces out close to the light, and takes away any unfortunate connections between the powder room and the kitchen, the powder room and the dining room. So that's what I think we should be doing to this unit. As always, interested in what you're thinking about, so post your results, and on Friday we'll discuss all of them and talk about which one we think is the best. Thanks for watching.